Hello friends. So this is part 2 of a 2-part video. I had wanted to do one video and then I realized pretty quickly it would be far too long. So this is part 2 of a day in which I had a fantastic thrifted haul in Bloomfield, Connecticut, unexpectedly. And then later on, I came home just to make sure the dogs and cats were all set. On my way home, I hit my usual stops, which is Salvation Army and Savers. I couldn't take any video because my video at that point was, my battery was not charged. And that was also part of why I was coming home, because I was gonna go out again for a church tag sale in Baltic, Connecticut. And I knew I needed more battery power, and I don't get the same charge from my phone charger as I do from just a plain old wall charger, so I needed that time. Anyway, on my way home, I stopped off at Salvation Army. I didn't find anything there, but when I went to Savers, which was very crowded, very busy, and very picked over, I did find just a couple of things that are worth sharing. And the best one is this great Spode Christmas platter. I've really accumulated a few of these pieces now, which is great. And they're going to be going on my eBay store when we're closer to Christmas, just because I think it would be really fun to have a Christmas selection at that time. I know these pieces can sell at any time. But this is the platter. It's in excellent condition. I paid $4.99 for it. So I was happy to find that. And then I picked up just a couple of books. This book I'm really interested to get into. It's called A Treasury of New England Folklore. So I think this will be really fun. I guess it's a very humorous book. It has some tall tales, legends, place lore, ballads, songs, jingles, you name it, they've got it. So I thought that was really fun. I found this reference book on McCoy pottery. So I'm looking forward to getting into that a little bit more. I don't often find McCoy pottery when I am thrifting at thrift stores, but I figured I might have a higher chance of coming across that perhaps at an auction or at a tag sale or an estate sale. It's a really beautiful book. And I've been trying to build up my reference library a little bit. You can see this has lots of the different marks that McCoy has made, so that when I look at the back stamp and labels and things like that, I can have a little bit more information and know what I'm talking about. So I was happy to get that. This book was $3.99. Oh, the New England Folklore book was $2.99. And then I bought, maybe I shouldn't have, but I bought the complete Tales of Winnie the Pooh, with the idea that I would perhaps resell this. This was $3.99. I love classic Winnie the Pooh because it was the nursery theme in my son's, his little crib area when he was first born. So when I see classic Winnie the Pooh, it brings me right back to those happy days. There wasn't a lot of sleep happening in those days, but there really was the cutest little cuddly baby. I can't believe he's gonna be 22 in November. Like, what is up with that? Where does the time go? But anyway, I thought this was a great book. So after I came home and charged up my phone and did a couple of other things, I headed back out to a part of Connecticut I'd never been to before called Baltic, Connecticut. And I guess Baltic is a village of the town of Sprague, if I've got that right. Again, a part of the state I had never been to in my life. I was very surprised by how much farmland there was. I don't think of that as existing in Connecticut, probably because, I live in Hartford County. It's pretty suburban around where I am. I grew up in New Haven County, so not a lot of farmland, little smaller farms dotted here and there, but not kind of wide stretches of fields like what I was seeing on my way to Baltic. Very pretty. I almost felt like I was in Vermont a few times there, just because there were some beautiful farm buildings and there were cattle at one point and just lots of interesting things to look at. But anyway, I got to the tag sale and I could not believe how crowded the parking lot already was. So this was the first day of the tag sale. It wasn't even really a day. It was 5 o'clock at night. So from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., they had an early bird entry. So you paid $10 to come in on this early bird evening. So you could get first crack at the tag sale. So I decided to do that because honestly, the timing was better for me than any other. And I thought, yeah, let's just go check it out a little bit early. Well, I wasn't the only person with that idea. There were tons of people there. It was very, very busy. It was hard even to cross the road because there were so many cars trying to get into the parking lot. It was a very large parking lot. And so I got in and I saw tents full of furniture, which isn't something I was expecting. Lots of furniture, including some antique pieces that were quite nice. And a lot of things already had sold signs on them. So I got there about 5:30 and it started at 5 o'clock. I paid my $10 entry and I received a stamp, which ended up being very handy because I ended up coming in and out from my car to the tag sale, to my car, to the tag sale. I think I did that 4 or 5 times. The volunteers were working really hard. Boy, they were busy. And I'm told that this is all coordinated by the priest of the church, who is known as Father Tito, and that this is a big annual tag sale that is a really big deal in the community. And I'm going to tell you what an event. I mean, there was so much stuff. I couldn't even imagine coordinating something on that scale. It was huge. So, of course, the section that I spent the most time in, not surprising to anyone who watches these videos, was the section that had lots of like dishware and like little collectibles, like home decor stuff, the breakables. There were some like pots and pans and glassware and some other things, but that was definitely where I spent the most time. There were 10 million people in that room. There was an air conditioner running, like a window unit, as well as a fan, but it was 1,000,000 degrees in there. And the volunteers, like I said, boy, they were working so hard. There were a lot of them and they were hopping. So most of what I got in that space. But what I did was after my first run through, I put everything in the car. Then I came back. I did a second run through because my hands weren't as full as they were the first time. And then I put everything in the car. And then I went to different sections of the tag sale. And on my way out from that, I went into that room a third time, put stuff in my car, and then did a 4th lap. The 4th lap I felt was important because by then a lot of stuff was gone. And so I thought that would reveal other things that might have been hidden behind stuff that had since been purchased and cleared out. So that ended up being a pretty good strategy for me. There was a gymnasium full of clothes. I couldn't even estimate how many clothes were in there. It felt like more clothes than the largest Goodwill I could even imagine, just piles of clothes, but organized, very organized. Shoes, bags, blazers, everything, all the things, kids' clothes, men's clothes, women's clothes. And then on stage, there were bookshelves full of books. And in front of the stage, there were boxes full of books. And again, it was 1,000,000 degrees. Then there was a room off the gymnasium that had more like sort of wooden pieces, less sort of breakable things. Although actually, now that I think about it, there were some vases, which of course are breakable. So I'm not sure, what made the cut into that room as opposed to the first room I was in. But it was very organized. There was a room that was just full of toys. There was a section outside that had just kind of plastic stuff, planter stuff, tools and things like that, some sportswear and bikes. I mean, the work that must go into this tag sale is staggering. I mean, I thought the tag sale where was that tag sale I went to? Was in Higganum, was huge. This was at least 3 times the size. So hats off to Father Tito and his crew of volunteers and all the people that must have donated those items to the church. Wow, huge amount of stuff. So anyway, I've been babbling on and on. Let me show you what I bought. Where to start? Well, I'll start with what I love most, I guess, which is this fabulous Limoges platter. Now, they didn't have individual stickers. They had color-coded stickers. So I think that pink was $2, if I can remember correctly. You know what? I'll put the amounts in a description box below because I don't want to give you the wrong amount. But anyway, this was a pink sticker, a Limoges platter. I love the little pink roses. Here's the back stamp. This would have had some other piece, I guess, that would have gone right here in this indentation. It's not perfectly round, so I don't think it would be for like a cup. It would have been for something. I don't know. That piece is no longer here. And there is a little flea bite in this platter right here. But that doesn't bother me at all because this is going in my own collection, and I was very happy to find it. And then another little Limoges piece that I thought was very sweet was this little plate. The flower pattern and the gold trim. And here is the back stamp on this. You can see it has a green sticker. I thought that was very sweet, and this will be going on my eBay store. The last piece of Limoges that I found was really spectacular, and it is this very heavy platter. This has Scottish thistles on it. I love Scottish thistles. This is maybe too much information, but I don't have any tattoos. And I always thought that if I ever did get a tattoo, and I'm not going to, it would be a Scottish thistle because I love them. I'm obsessed with them. I am of Scottish ancestry, Scottish and Norwegian primarily, and English, of course, lots of English. Actually, if you go to Plymouth Plantation, there's an actor who reenacts one of my ancestors. I always forget his first name. There were two gentlemen there with the last name Fuller. My ancestor, Fuller, was a surgeon, which sounds important, but what it meant was he bled people with leeches. I'm so glad that job didn't pass down through the generations because ew. But anyway, it's really funny. So if you go to Plymouth Plantation, you will see a reenactment of my ancestor, and it's a good time. Also, what a cool place. Great place to go and visit if you're ever looking for something to do. So anyway, that was a huge digression for this fabulous Limoges platter. Here is the back stamp. Actually, I think I'm showing that to you backwards maybe. This is not the pattern that I usually collect, but I do think I'm going to keep this. It is a pink flower after all. It's not my usual roses or that sort of thing, but I do really love this. It's also super heavy, so it would be a bummer to ship. Okay, next up, I picked up this stack of plates. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 plates. One, again, has a little flea bite, so I'll make that known in my eBay listing. Really pretty flowers. This needs a good wash, but has a great look to it. And this is Mikasa. And then I bought this smaller stack of plates that are Mikasa too. 1, 2, 3, 4. And this was a sort of yellowy green sticker. I know these were 25 cents each. That I do remember. I also bought these plates, which I love, with the village scene surrounded by green, the flowers, and the gold serpentine edge. I thought these were so pretty. There were only 2 of them. I wish there had been more, but they're nice big dinner plates. Ascot service plate by Wood & Sons, England, ironstone. Even the back is pretty. Look at that. So these are lovely. These will be going on my eBay store. I was very happy to find these. This was another really interesting piece. I'm assuming that's a candle stand, but I love basket weave pattern in general, and this has a nice one. And this was made by Longaberger. So I thought that was interesting. Of course, you always think about the Longaberger baskets, but they made some home decor pieces as well. So I thought that was really nice, and this will go on my store. I also bought this collection of plates. Let's resituate things here so I can show you the plates a little better. Okay, this whole grouping of plates I'm about to show you was a total of $8, and it was really interesting because when I first got to the sale, I asked about the box. It was up front where they were cashing people out, and I was told that they were on hold for somebody. And then when I went back the 4th time, they were back on the floor. So I guess the person who had them on hold decided not to buy them after all. So I was thrilled for that to be the case. But these are the little salad or luncheon plates. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. They're so beautiful. These are The Friendly Village by Johnson Brothers. I actually have a gravy boat that goes to this on my eBay store right now. I thought these were lovely. And then these more squared off plates that have a different little scene on them, a little sledding scene, which I think is adorable, is part of the same set. 1, 2, 3, there are 4 of these. Really sweet. And then look at this big stack. Oops. This big stack of dinner plates. Aren't they beautiful? I love these. Again, same set. So how many dinner plates do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 dinner plates. So I have sometimes seen this set, not so many pieces all together, but I'll find like some luncheon plates or some dinner plates. I've never seen this shape before out in the wild. But a lot of times I find they're chipped into oblivion, and so I don't purchase them. They also tend to be kind of high priced when I've seen them thrifting. So I've not taken them home before other than that little gravy boat. And so I was excited to find these, and these will all be going on my eBay store. I found this very pretty Lenox basket. You know I love anything basket shaped. Here's the back stamp. This was $3, so a little more than some of the other things I picked up, but Lenox tends to do well on my store. And I thought this was the kind of small piece that would look good anywhere. And I'm hoping someone will be really happy to find this. I also bought a little, I call these coronation cups, but of course this isn't coronation. This is the marriage of King Charles and Lady Diana Spencer. So souvenir wear, I guess, from the royal family. And it has a little England mark down below. This was $6, so a little bit more, but I thought it was cute. There's not much on the back, but this is for me. So this goes into my own collection. To show you this really pretty large platter. This has a great pattern on it. And this is, oops, there we go, Debutante by Homer Laughlin. Thought that was a really nice pattern on this piece. Here's a view of 2 sweet little ducks that I picked up. I put them on my bookshelf so you could see the effect of this guy with his head down. I thought they were so adorable. They don't have any special marking on them, just this green felt, and they have the pink label, as you can see. You can check out like individual little feathers. That's a great look on his face. But it was really funny when I picked these up. The woman who was cashing me out had said that when she was putting these on display, she almost broke them. And then as she was wrapping it up, she almost broke them again. So I was like, you know what? You're clearly some kind of like duck wannabe murderer. Let me wrap these and get them away from you so they have some chance of living another life. And so we thought that was funny. And I did get them home safe and sound. Right now they're on this shelf, so even Destructo cats can't get to them. But I thought they were very pretty, and they will be going on my eBay store at some point. But they do look very pretty on this shelf. All right, next up, I found this very large Singer sewing book. I loved the colors. This is so 70s, isn't it? I have a Singer sewing machine that was my mother-in-law's, and I am self-taught maybe being a strong word. Actually, I'm taught with the help of YouTube. This was from 1972. And I just thought this was awesome. It shows you all different kinds of stitches to do, all different kinds of little patterns. It's got all the groovy colors happening. And I don't know, I just thought it was kind of awesome. Eric loved this one. I showed it to him as well. So I don't know, I'll probably hang on to this for a little bit and then put it on my eBay store at some point if it comps out. But I don't know, with a cover like this, it had to come home with me. I picked up these little Anna Lee dolls. They're not really my cup of tea, but I know there are lots of folks who collect them. And they're in this little square dancing theme. They're kind of cute. They're also very dusty, so I'm gonna have to give them a good dust before I put them on my eBay store. Oh, look at that. Originally they were $31.50. I think I paid $2 total, $1 each for them. They have their original little tags, or at least that one does. Oh, yep, here's this one's tag. Oh, wow, so somebody paid just over $60 for the two of them. Well, I surely didn't pay that, and I don't expect to get that, but I think they might do okay on my eBay store. If not, I'll put them on an online estate sale at some point. Okay, next guy. This is an old enameled mold. It's kind of heavy. It has kind of a great look. I loved the yellow on this because our kitchen cabinets are yellow, and this isn't breakable, so Destructo cats can't get to it. I don't know if I'm gonna keep this for that reason or if I'm gonna put this on my eBay store. It didn't have a tag on it, so when I asked how much, I was told $1, and that was a sale. Okay, a few more things to show you. I bought this book, Forks Over Knives. I have this on my iPad. It has some recipes in it that I really, really like. But I find it annoying when I want to find a specific recipe and I'm trying to find it on my iPad. I think it would be so much easier for me to just have some little like bookmarks and things in this so I can just flip to the page that I want. And sometimes I find iPads and cookbooks aren't a great match. Again, I don't want to give you the impression that I'm doing a lot of cooking here. I'm not. But when I do, like, let's make it as convenient as possible. Yes? So there's that. Then I bought this book, which is the sequel to another book that I had purchased at a thrift store. I don't remember which thrift store, a few months ago, it has the cheerful title, How Not to Die. So that's nice. This one is How Not to Diet. So a little less grim, or maybe it is just as grim because dieting and dying sound about, all right, let's not go there. Anyway, this was good. I will be reading this. So glad to find it. And then the last thing, I'd been wanting to get a biography about Mark Twain, and I didn't want to spend a lot for it, so I picked up this one. All of those books, including the sewing book, were $2 each. It was $2 for hardcovers, and I think $1 for paperbacks when I was there. So lots of good books. Those were the ones that came home with me. I would probably have looked at books longer and potentially purchased more of them, but it was extraordinarily hot in that auditorium. You know, there's no like real windows in an auditorium. They had doors nearby kind of open, but it was stifling in there. So I kind of picked what jumped out at me and then I was off. But in another room, I picked up this little vase that is hand painted and very pretty. This was made by something Creek Pottery. There's a little sticker, let's see. Emerson Creek Pottery from Bedford, Virginia in 1992. I thought this was really lovely. So this will be going on my eBay store. And then Eric unfortunately did not come with me to the tag sale. I had kind of hoped that he would, but we rent the upstairs of the house next door to us. Eric's dad lives on the first floor and we rent out the second floor. We have a very nice tenant. We like her very much. But she annoyingly experienced a problem with her washing machine. And it's a really big deal to replace the washing machine because it's up a flight of very narrow stairs. The house was built like 1899 or 1901 or something like that. So it's a really big deal to put a new one up there and would massively disrupt her life. So Eric wanted to get a repair guy to see if it could be repaired. And he had to wait for the repair guy to show up. He was supposed to show up at 3. By 4 o'clock, he still hadn't shown up. I decided to wait until 4:30 in the hope that maybe he would. And at 4:30, you know, I just left because I figured I was gonna be too late. And it turns out, repair guy never showed up. It's not easy being a landlord. But anyway, when I got home, Eric was very interested to see what I picked up. I showed him everything, and now I'm gonna show you the thing he liked the best that I brought home. It is this stack of Tupperware plastic glasses in this yellow color. So there's the Tupperware back stamp. And we both remembered having a very similar version of these glasses in our 1970s childhood. So he really got a kick out of these. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these glasses. My intention had been to put them on the eBay store, but now Eric's gotten kind of attached to them, so we'll see what happens. But I thought they were pretty funny, and he got, as I said, he got a kick out of those as well. Here is Indy sitting in my lighting. What the heck? What are you doing, crazy pants? What's up? Yeah, this has gotta be addressed. Excuse me for a second. Okay, I just popped my new platter back here on the top shelf of the Limoges cabinet. I really like the way it looks. I did some reshuffling of some other pieces, specifically so I could see these plates a little bit better. And down here, I put the new thistle platter, which I really do love. It's huge. So some things have moved. I do still have some pieces that will be going on my store, but not quite yet. But I like the way this looks. I removed this cake plate with the handle, as well as this one, to make more room for the Limoges pieces. These are beautiful. I do love them, but they're not Limoges. And this is stunning. This is Limoges. I bought this at Brimfield, but it doesn't match the rest of the set, although I do love it. And same with this little bowl. Love it, but it doesn't match. So these will eventually find their way to my store. I don't know if that day is today, but I'm trying so hard to learn to let some of this stuff go. Whew, boy, do I want to be a hoarder. So I had planned to put the new Charles and Diana cup up here on the shelf where I keep all of my coronation cups and just general royal commemorative stuff. However, I already have a very similar version of that cup right here. Check it out. Same, right? I like this one better. So that means this one is going to go on my eBay store. I have a little story that I want to share with you because I think it really captures the unexpected pleasure of having a YouTube channel that I never predicted. And well, I guess a couple of them. First of all, I've met so many nice people through this channel. It's incredible, including people who live right here in Connecticut, who have common interests, who love the things that I love, who are just a joy to meet and talk to. And that has by far exceeded any hope I ever had of any gain I would ever get from being a YouTuber. I did it really because I just love old things and I just wanted to talk about them and share them with other people. But to then meet those people in real life is such a privilege and a joy. I have really no way to express that to you. But let me tell you another thing. There's 2 other things I need to share that have been so unexpected. And I don't want to go into too much detail because I get upset a little bit when I talk about it, but Indy got into something that he shouldn't have a few weeks ago. And I only registered it as a problem because a viewer had actually sent me a comment months ago saying, beware about this thing in cats. This can be bad for cats. And I didn't remember it well enough to not bring the thing into the house. But once I saw Indy get into it for a split second, that viewer comment triggered in my brain enough so that I Googled it and realized that I had an emergency on my hands. And I would never have Googled it if that viewer hadn't said that thing to me. It was such a random comment that viewer made. And as a result of that comment, I brought Indy to the animal hospital at the speed of light, and he is fine. But it was 3 days where I was not sure he was gonna be fine. He never had any symptoms. He never had any health issues because we moved so fast. And the veterinary care he received was excellent. He went to Piper Memorial in Middletown. They are amazing. But it was very emotional for me. And I was very much blaming myself for it because you know, like I said, I had the information in the back of my head, enough to Google it, but not in the front of my head, enough to have not brought in this thing that I shouldn't have brought in. So when I came home after he was admitted into the hospital, I was in such rough shape. I was like really on the brink of like hysterical tears. And Eric was awesome, calm, and a rock, as he always is. And he just said, you know, oh, hey, by the way, you have some mail. I'm like, oh, great. I need a bill right now. I need a big fat tax bill or something past due or some other really annoying correspondence. Just, you know, put a cap on this day. And instead, I received this incredible note from a viewer of this channel that touched me, that I cannot tell you. She gave me this beautiful card. Oh, there's such a glare. I don't think you can see. It's beautiful little birds on this card. The viewer's name is Heather, and she sent us a gift certificate to Tower Farms in Cheshire because she watches this channel and she knows that Eric and I love gardening and we love flowers and we love all that kind of stuff. And she had seen the vlog that featured our anniversary dinner. And so she sent us a gift certificate to this awesome garden center, which I can't wait to go to. And I haven't gone to yet just because we've been having a really unpleasant heat wave. But my point is, here I was so upset, but my cat was saved because a viewer had left me a comment. And then here I was feeling so low and so like just beating myself up and so upset and so worried. And I get this incredibly kind gift from a viewer of this channel. So, I mean, talk about feeling so like supported and surrounded by a community. I have no words to express it. And I can't wait to go to this garden center. It was so kind, but really the timing of it was a tremendous blessing. So anyway, I want to share that with you just to say thank you to all of you. I will never meet, I'm sure, most of you in person because some of you don't live locally. And it's a great big world, isn't it? But I just want you to know all of you mean so much to me. That you support this channel means so much to me. And when I say I am hoping you have a great day, I really do. And even if we never meet, I consider you really to be friends. So thank you. Here's the man. As you can see, he's no worse for the wear after his traumatic hospital stay. Right? Actually, funny little aside, one of the vets called me just to give me an update. And she said that she had to speak to her staff a few times and tell them they couldn't just play with Indy. They had to attend to all of the other cats in the area. He is a charismatic little guy, and he does have a way of getting all of the attention on himself, which is just where he likes it. So he gave me a scare, but he's doing really well. And you can still see where the IV was. Oop. Let's see, can you see where his fur's growing in on his little paw? It looks much better. So he's good. So that was my big tag sale haul. I got quite a few things. It was a very interesting experience. As I told you, it was just so crowded. I don't know. And again, so impressive that something on that scale could even be pulled off by a group of volunteers in that way. Hats off to them again. I was very impressed and was really excited to get to participate this year. So it was a fun day. And then of course I also got that handful of things from Savers as well. So I hope you enjoyed this part 2 of a 2-part vlog. And if you did like this video, I hope you'll take just a moment to like it. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 2,000 viewers. I'm so close. And when I hit that mark, I will definitely have a little celebration. So if you could do that, that would be great. And whether you subscribe or not, I hope you have a super day. Oh, and I have a friend. Indy the Wonder Cat would like to say hello. And he would also like to hope that you have a great day. Bye for now.